Hello everybody, DM here from That Wrestling Show, off of the heels of Elimination Chamber's pay-per-view. Now, it's been about 12 hours since I've seen the Elimination Chamber. The reason why I didn't do it last night is because right after the Chamber, I went straight to bed because, as some of you know, DM is fighting some kind of bronchial thing that he gets every year. So, yeah, don't expect a whole massive review from me here, or at least for my voice to sound as eloquent as it used to be. Now, before we get into the review, I just want to point out that there are a lot of reviewers out there that are saying that this pay-per-view was incredibly horrible, that this pay-per-view sucked, that this pay-per-view was definitely not their money. Those of you that purchased this pay-per-view, don't you realize that you're spending $49.95 on a 4-card show? Yeah, if you guys didn't pay attention to that, even with the bonus match, you're spending $49.99 on a 5-card show. I'm sorry, you deserve every bit that you get. For those of us that had other means of watching the pay-per-view, well, you know, it was what it was. Let's get down right to it. We get the first match on the card, which is the WWE Elimination Chamber for the WWE title. Yes, kind of a surprise to see this being the first match on the card. This is when all of us in the chat room were talking about, well, maybe they have something planned, or, well, maybe they'll push the SmackDown chamber harder. I mean, something's bound to happen. More on that later. Believe it or not, this was actually the match of the night. When the opening match is your star match, you might have a problem here. I think everyone in this match did the absolute best they could. Everyone took some pretty nasty bumps. Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler completely shined in this match. CM Punk was alright. Miz was alright. Jericho did exactly what Jericho's going to do. R-Truth, he was there for, I think it was 2 minutes, if that, and then he was eliminated, so it's kind of strange when R-Truth gets a shorter push than Santino Marella, but then again, I'm not a big fan of either one of them. So Kofi Kingston gets eliminated. Chris Jericho gets kicked in the back of the head, falls out of the chamber door, and hits his head on the side of one of the lights that they have on the side of the stage. And Jericho is quote-unquote legitimately locked out. Now, I know everyone is talking about, oh, this is bullshit, this is ridiculous, Jericho, they took too much time. People, it's Wrestling 101. It's Wrestling 101. They can't have CM Punk defeat Chris Jericho and then go into a program with him at WrestleMania. They can't have Chris Jericho beat CM Punk and then go into a program at WrestleMania. They had to get rid of one or the other. Chris Jericho taking the fall gives him more material and more time to build a promo to where he could say, I never officially got eliminated from the chamber, and I still want a shot at the title. And of course, Jarrett Laurinaitis is going to say, okay, sure, no problem, since you were unofficially eliminated from the match. That's called building storylines. So anyone that doesn't quite see that, you're not a wrestling fan, you don't know anything about professional wrestling, go the fuck away. CM Punk gets the win. I'm happy. It gives Jericho, like I said, a chance to build a promo and start doing something for WrestleMania, not a quick, cheap win and boom, boom, boom. And then we have a rematch at Mania. The second match on the card was the women's match between Tamina and Beth Phoenix. Now, I'm going to admit, this was not the best women's match that I've seen in the last 5 years, but it was a women's match. It was two wrestlers going at it. Tamina and Beth Phoenix are a little bit stiff, a little bit slow. It's not going to be a Lita Trish kind of a match, but it was a wrestling match. It was not bad at all. I think Tamina shined in this bout, and I think Beth Phoenix did the best she could with her abilities that she has. Beth Phoenix gets the win with the Glam Slam, and everyone kind of goes home happy. We get a bunch of Cena and Rock promos. I'm not even going to comment upon that. I don't really see how that's going to build up their WrestleMania feud. John Cena in a fucking gym lifting weights with a bunch of knuckleheads. The power of them lifting 505 pounds is going to fuel him to beat The Rock. Please. Please. We then get the SmackDown Elimination Chamber, and, well, throughout the entire night, they were building Santino as being Rocky. That's Rocky Balboa. We were all kind of expecting that Santino was going to get knocked out or get taken out real quick, and this SmackDown Chamber, let's face it, it was not the best. I mean, Great Khali was in for a total of 46 seconds. Cody Rhodes did the best he could and got the pinfall victory on Big Show with 2 disaster kicks, and Wade Barrett, I think, knocking him down with a spear. Wade Barrett gets eliminated later on. Cody Rhodes gets rolled up by Santino Marella. It comes down to Daniel Bryan and Santino Marella. The fans are going crazy. At no time during this entire match did I feel that Santino Marella was going to win the world title. I mean, come on. It's Santino Marella. It's Santino Marella. He's not going to win the world title. It's not gonna happen. So the fans are going crazy. The announcers are getting into it. You know, Wrestling 101, sell what you can. I understand that. But at no point did I feel that Daniel Bryan was ever going to lose this world title. He wins with the LeBell Lock. Probably the worst match on the card, to be 100% honest. We then get a quick match between Jack Swagger and Justin Gabriel for the United States title. I don't think it went as long as it should have. I think they should have gave these guys a little bit more time. Jack Swagger gets the win with the ankle lock, surprise, surprise, and now it's time for the main event of the evening, the ambulance match. An ambulance match closing out the Elimination Chamber. Well, I'll let that sink in your head. We had John Cena versus Kane, and this was... it was alright. It was... nothing new, nothing spectacular. It was nothing that we haven't seen before. Now, I'm not going to be one of those guys that says they should have had blood, they should have had pyro, they should have had fire, and they should have used steel chairs and barbed wire and fucking, fire-breathing dragons flying from the Raptors. No, they didn't need all that. What they needed was, I don't want to say that they didn't have chemistry, but it's just we've seen it before. Monitor to the head, slam through the table, steel stairs to the side of the head. Same old shit that we always see with these hardcore matches from basically WWE. I don't even want to blame John Cena on this one, but it was the same thing that we've seen for the last 5 years when it comes to hardcore matches. And I'm not saying it was a hardcore match, but you figure they'd go backstage, they'd go through the crowd. No, they kind of kept it contained in the ring, or at least within the ringside area, and it was alright. I think the biggest spot of the whole thing was Kane being FU'd off of the ambulance right to the floor and then gets thrown into the ambulance. And of course the entire internet wrestling community blows up that Kane lost. Okay, people, keep this in mind. John Cena is going into a match with The Rock. If he lost to Kane, how in the hell is he going to defeat The Rock? Now, I'm not saying that The Rock is better than Kane, or vice versa, but it's storyline. You can't have Cena lose a match prior to his match at WrestleMania. It's, especially on pay-per-view. It's bad booking, it's not going to work. So anybody that chose Kane to win is a fucking idiot. I am one of the biggest Kane marks in the world, and even I knew that Kane wasn't going to win this match. I mean, it's obvious. If the Golden Boy was going to pull this off, and I wasn't surprised when he lost. So come on. John Cena wins. He's going to go to WrestleMania. We're going to have that match between him and The Rock. And it's going to be a matter of who can lift the most weights. I mean, this is one of the most predictable pay-per-views that I've ever seen all year. Was it a bad pay-per-view? Well, I'd say it was about average. I think the women's match and the WWE title match, they did okay. They were pretty good, I have to admit. I enjoyed watching their match. It was the second half of the show that I kind of got bored. The SmackDown Chamber, while it had a couple of decent spots, it was, nothing really all that spectacular happened in the SmackDown Chamber, and the ambulance match was just formulaic. It was protocol. It was essentially, Kane, you're losing tonight, just get in the ambulance, and that was it. And that is my review of the Elimination Chamber. Anybody who thought otherwise, that's your own opinion, but you really need to sit back and think, did you really think that certain people were going to win in this chamber, in this pay-per-view? Did you really think they were going to pull this off? No! This is the fall-away pay-per-view prior to WrestleMania. Everyone's going to retain their title, and unless something major or some kind of massive storyline was going to take place or unfold, you would have saw it tonight, but there was nothing going in. You knew it was going to happen. This was a very planned pay-per-view. It was a very average pay-per-view. The first 2 matches were okay. The filler match was alright, and the last 2 advertised matches were Bleh. I mean, what did you expect? It was a 4-match card. Did you expect WrestleMania quality on this show? No, you weren't going to get that. This is a throwaway pay-per-view. If you miss it, you miss it. If you see it, you see it. It's no big deal. I think more so the focus is going to be on Monday Night Raw heading into WrestleMania. And that'll do it all for this review of the Elimination Chamber. I thank everyone for listening, and I wish people would stop being so damn harsh on the pay-per-views, especially when they can see the answers coming, when they can see, everything in bold print that these guys are going to win, or this is the direction they're going. It was a little obvious, and even the wrestling experts out there that think they know everything, come on, stop. And even you guys have to take a step back and go, yeah, it kind of makes sense. It's not the only thing that was Russo booking was the match order. If they were flipped the order, I think it would have been a lot better. And until next time, I'll see you then.